Good afternoon. And today we're in Newcastle. We're going to have a look at the history of Blackett Street. So let's join us. Let's begin. And Blackett Street, about 300 years ago, was literally just a muddy lane because it was outside the town walls. But after the Jacobites was squashed, Newcastle didn't need the boundary of the town walls and it could expand. So it came down bit by bit, and Blackett Street was pedestrian that way. It was opened up the courts and had to get down from Newgate Gate to Pilgrim Gate. One of the designs on when they developed Blackett Street was Old Eldon Gardens, which is terraces all around, and as you can see,
I don't need to introduce the song, you know it, don't lie.
we see, I've got a photograph from early on that you'll see where they've still got the terrace houses on. This is Blackett Street. For anyone who knows Newcastle, it is one of the most vital arteries, a constant stream of buses, taxis and thousands of shoppers. It is a street we all take for granted, flanked by the columns of Gray's Monument and the modern glass of Eldon Square. It feels like it's been here forever, a permanent fixture in the heart of the town. But what if I told you that just 200 years ago, this was a bustling thoroughfare, was nothing more than a muddy back lane, that a spot waiting for a bus was once an outer ditch of a massive medieval wall, built to keep the Scot invaders out. The story of Blackett Street isn't just about tarmac and paved stones, it's a story about Newcastle itself, a tale of ambition, reinvention and a relentless evolution that is still going on today. This is a story of how a forgotten path became the street that defines a city. To find the true beginnings of Blackett Street, we have to rewind the clock back, past the elegant Georgian buildings, before the department stores, and to a time before the street even had a name. For centuries, Newcastle was a cramped medieval town, huddled down by the River Tyne and wrapped in huge defensive walls. The line of Blackett Street we see today wasn't a street at all. It was simply just a track that ran along the outside of the town wall, tracing a path between the two main gates, Newgate and Pilgrim Gate. Try to picture it not as a city centre, but as the very edge of town, a boundary between the crowded, smoky city and the open fields to the north. For hundreds of years, nothing much changed, but a single battle sealed the fate of Newcastle's ancient walls. After the defeat of the Jacobite rising at Culloden in 1746, the threat of invasion from Scotland vanished. Suddenly those great stone walls weren't a symbol of security anymore, they were an obstacle to expansion. And piece by piece they started coming down, opening up the land and setting the stage for the city's new great chapter. As this space opened up, the humble lane was formally laid out, improved by Richard Granger in 1824 and given the name Blackett Street in honour of John Ermas Blackett, a respected former mayor. It was a modest start, but a crucial one. The early 19th century was an era of explosive change, and Newcastle was right at the heart of the Industrial Revolution. The city was getting rich, but its medieval maze of narrow, winding streets was holding it back. Newcastle was crying out for a visionary, and it found one in a man named Richard Granger. Starting around 1824, Richard Granger and his architect, Thomas Oliver, began creating Blackett Street we recognise today. This wasn't just about paving a lane, it was a masterstroke of urban engineering. Granger's big idea was to shift Newcastle's commercial heart away from the crowded riverside and pull it north into the new, purpose-built town centre. Blackett Street was designed as the main east-west route, a wide direct channel that would act as the backbone for his new developments. It was the foundation for one of the most famous projects, Eldon Square. He first built a stunning terrace of houses along the north side of the newly formed Blackett Street. Then he built out the other side to create a beautiful residential square. Blackett Street's job was vital. While the magnificent Granger Street would become the grand ceremonial north-south route of Grangertown, Blackett Street was its practical, hard-working partner. It connected everything, funneling people and trade right through the centre of this sophisticated area. It was no longer a forgotten track on the edge of town. It was now an essential artery pumping life into the heart of Newcastle. But its most dramatic transformation was still to come. In the 1970s, a decision was made that would change the face of Granger's creation. Huge parts of the original Eldon Square, the beautiful Georgian terraces that lined Blackett Street, were demolished. In their place rose Eldon Square Shopping Centre. The new brutalist-style indoor mall was the product of its time, a response to the rise of car and the new age of retail. It remained a controversial move, a jarring clash between Georgian elegance and 70s concrete. Blackett Street was once again at a crossroads, now bordering not just on a historic square, but a modern retail giant. The story of Blackett Street is still being written, and it's a story that involves every single one of us who lives, works, or just loves this city. What do you remember about Blackett Street? Do you see it before Eldon Square Shopping Centre was built? From a muddy track on the edge of a walled town to a grand Georgian thoroughfare, from a commercial hub to the centre of modern urban dilemma, Blackett Street has seen it all. Its story perfectly mirrors Newcastle's own. The bold ambition of Georgian era, the disruptive force of the industrial age, the concrete modernisation of the 20th century, and now the 21st century's quest to build healthier, greener cities. It's a street that was born from a vision to push a city forward, and today it's at the centre of a new one. Will it remain an artery for traffic, or will it transform again into the green lung for the city? Whatever happens next, one thing is for sure: the complete story of Blackett Street is far from over.
Paul Smith's I hope you enjoyed that little video. If you did, don't forget hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell for future videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.